Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing out there? This is Russ from Kilt&Cork, and we have got all kinds of people joining us tonight, and especially the great crew out there at Crystal Basin. I'm trying to get them unmuted, but Mike, if you can hear me, can you hear me? Hey, there you go. All right.
I got a mask on. Hold on.
I thought that was the problem.
Yeah,
I thought that was the problem.
I can be the doctor, but I cannot be the masked doctor, Russ.
Yeah, no, I thought there was an issue with your audio, and obviously it was the mask that you're wearing. So I'm glad you took that off.
Well, you know why? We've all been doing this for 7 weeks. You know why they want you to wear a mask, I think?
No, why?
Because you can't get this shit in your mouth. Just through the mask. That's why they want you drinking that.
You can't drink. That's true. Yeah, you can't. How can you drink wine if you have a mask on?
I think they're trying to keep us out of Betty Ford, Russ.
Okay, well, I'm ready to do some tasting and blending and drinking and all that kind of good stuff. It looks like you guys are too. So I got to ask you, Mike, are you guys in the bowels of hell, or are you just in a very romantic kind of red room?
Red rum? Is that what you said?
No, not red rum.
Good, because you can see behind me. I can't. So
yeah, definitely.
Red rum,
yeah. No, it's definitely not. Well, I guess it's more of a looks like it's been changed a little bit to a little bit of a reddish orange, but.
Well, the other thing is we don't make white wine. There's no Chardonnay golden yellow color in here. Screw that.
That's true. So, Mike, why don't you go around the table, introduce everybody that's sitting there with you?
Well, so I think it's really cool to be able to be here again. And I always wanted to start by recognizing people who've been to this twice now. They were a part of our triumphant blending last time. And so if you're out there, raise your hand. Because that was really a fun event, and it caused us to do this again, make a series out of it. And so the team really thought this was a great idea, and Rush gave us a little push as well. And so here's the band at Crystal Basin. This is Melissa. She writes the music, and we all sing the song around here. That helps us out a lot. And she's trusted me with this crazy project for a lot of years, and I love her lots, and I don't wear a mask when I kiss her. That's all I got to say.
Aww.
Now, in Eric's case back here, I wear a mask when I kiss him. Trust me, it's one of those big chemical things. But he's really been the backbone of Crystal Basin for a couple of years, moving things around, giving us the best wine quality we can pull off. And so you'll see him. You never hear from the drummer much. Think of him as the drummer, because he's back there pouring stuff and making sure that we got the pace right.
Right.
And then everybody knows and loves KZ.
KZ in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friendly face on the when you come and visit. Friendly voice on the phone. And KZ and Eric are brother and sister. I'm going to rat them out here, but what a great team they are. And I told their dad if he had more kids, I'd hire them too.
That's awesome.
And then in the back, here's Todd. He's the guy in the back who's got the turntable.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's definitely definitely Todd right now.
Yeah, he's in charge of the electrons, and if the electrons are all arranged pretty well, things work really good around here. And when the electrons get screwed up, man, it's a mess. And so we're hoping Todd can get us to phase 3 as fast as he possibly can, because phase 2 is just going to be kind of boring.
Well, I can already tell you, you're compared to the last time we did this, you guys have upped your game a lot. We can hear you well, we can see you well. So I'm really glad that we've got all this working for you tonight. So this is going to be a fun time. So everyone out there, they're here because they want to blend and drink. But before we do that, I think you have to fill out the rest of your panel. Isn't that right?
We need some more people and some more opinions and some more adjectives.
Yeah. So our first panelist, which we're going to bring on here, is Mike and Beverly House. They're going to be on the panel tonight. Here they come. Let's see if you guys are unmuted there. Can you hear us? Oh, perfect.
Hello. We can hear you.
Yeah, good. Okay. So the way it works, folks, if you're out there watching us on Zoom, if you're out there on Facebook, of course, say hi to us too. But if you're out there on Zoom, you're going to want to raise your hand. And I've already got some hands raised. So they're raising their hand. The first few people that can raise it, look, everyone's raising their hand. So I'll tell you, I'm going to lower your hands here in a second, but we need, let's see, Mike, how many we need? We need six more brave souls that want to be on camera and that want to be able to talk to us. So if you are, I'm going to lower hands again. So we have a fair group here. So if you want to be on, raise your hand. The first six that raise. Okay, we got it. The first six, we got them. All right, you guys, we got our six, and I'm going to bring them on one at a time, so that you guys can be on the camera. But Mike, so are you getting any like germs from us right now through the, or you just don't want to take any chances, right?
Oh, I'm gonna,
yeah. Mike,
I don't want to get a computer virus.
Mike House.
You don't want to get a computer virus.
Okay. You don't want to get a computer virus. I love that.
Right.
All right. Well, we're going to bring our panelists in here.
Well, and if you buy Kaspersky, the Russians did it.
All right. They're coming in. As you guys come in, the rules are come in with your mic muted so that we can not get too much chaos, because Mike Owen needs to talk.
Oh, boy.
Mike Owen needs to be able to speak. And then once you guys are in here, of course, you can join in, ask questions, raise your hand. If you are watching and you're not on screen, then you certainly can also raise your hand and we'll get your questions answered. So it looks like we're bringing everyone in right now. They're coming in, Mike.
Great. I see Nevada. I see North County, and I see some folks.
There's Zog.
The Zogs are in the house too.
Zogs are in again. They got their hand up fast. They got their hand up fast.
Yeah, they were our virtual blending veterans is how that works.
That's right. That's right. Everyone say hi. Yep, everyone's waving. Hi. Cool.
And Heather, cool. Lori, what's happening, guys?
Okay.
Whoa.
So we do have room for one more person. Raise that hand. First person up gets to come in. Oh, there we go. Amber. Man, she had her hand on that. She was like, boom, I'm in. All right. So Amber's coming in. Cool. All right. This is your Crystal Basin bunch, Mike, for the night.
And here's the story of an ugly winery, but it turned out some really groovy juice. There was a bunch of drunken.
You guys, thank you so much for everyone that did not make it onto the panel tonight. Hopefully you'll get on the next time. Mike is going to be doing a few more of these, and he'll tell you about those later. But right now, Mike, we got some wine to pop.
Crystal Basin juice.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, tonight we're thinking all about the Rhone. And I know there's some folks out there who are going to be on the Rhone cruise with us and didn't get to go. But this is where Melissa and I got to live this region in France in the 90s, and our heart is absolutely there. So I hope you cracked open your case, and I hope you had a chance to set up the glasses. I see all kinds of good organization in front of at least Robert and John there. And you guys are ready to rock. What we're doing tonight and what we're doing on this series is helping people kind of be a fly on the wall for when we do our blending. And so people have said, how do you come up with Ascendance blends? I mean, how do you know what's good? And how do you know when it's there? And KZ has a really great way to describe it. She'll say, you know, there's blends that are blends, and then there's the one that really pops, and then that's an Ascendance wine. And it's really hard to describe, but that's what we're going to be searching for tonight. And thanks for joining us. And there's 41 kits out there for blending, and that means all kinds of people are going to get to have this experience. So welcome. We're tasting the three what I call component wines first. And what you want to do is get an idea what the 2018 Grenache tastes like, 2018 Syrah, 2018 Mourvèdre. And
hey, Mike, we have a question real quick. Tell people how to label their glasses. We're already getting people questioning. I know you're going to need the first three glasses are for the individual components. So if you want to have those ready.
They're right in front of us. If you can see those, I know it's hard. Number one, I'm calling Grenache. Did you get that slide? Did you get that slide, Russ, that had the glass numbers and the blends on it?
Well, so yeah, I did, but I, being an artist and having my own way of doing things, I wasn't quite sure. Last time we did this, you asked people for 4 glasses. And so that's kind of how the first slide, I'll put that up right now. The first slide is just showing you what you're going to put in your three glasses.
Yeah, the component blend.
Right. So I'm gonna put that up right now, and then that way you guys can see what we're doing with that. So there's the
and so tonight, guys, I really want to use this glass 1, glass 2, and glass 3, and then we can refer back to the what we're doing with that. It's easier than trying to write the blends on a little piece of tape. It's because I know you guys have been pre-gaming. I just know it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we want to use the glass 1, glass 2, glass 3. Yeah, and then that way we when we're making comments or coming up with suggestions, we can refer to that particular blend or that particular component wine easier. So that's a little bit different from before, but I hope that convention works for folks.
How's that look?
So if you guys are, if you're on the panel, make sure your mic is muted, just so it doesn't interfere with Mike. I think we hear the houses. There we go. Good. Okay. I didn't mean to call you guys out, but I know you. All right, Mike.
So what you want to do is work with the component blends for a minute, because whenever you're doing a blend, you want to know what you're working with. And what you'll find is that we all expect Grenache to be a little bit lighter than the other two wines, and I think you'll find that. I think the Syrah is really your big base note, and that's been the backbone of Rhone blends for a long time. Mourvedre plays in that middle. So while you guys are sipping those and kind of making mental notes about how you think they might fit together or not, which is important too. I'm going to babble about the Rhone, but I want 2 questions first.
I just have a quick question. How much are we pouring in each glass of 1, 2, and 3? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
The best thing to do is use about 100 milliliters and then split it between you and honey.
Yeah, there's a lot of blending tonight. So once we get into the whole
and
thing,
you want your
that's a lot too. 100 milliliters. That's a lot.
That's for 2 people.
Yeah. Okay.
That's 50 mils each.
Yeah. And then we'll save some when you start doing the blending. We've got all kinds of blends to do.
Yeah. So when you're doing that, you want to get your component blend, and you can go, don't just slag those, because you might need to go back to them and use them.
Keep them in order.
Right. And that's why you want to use the glass 1, glass 2, glass 3, and why I said put out some tape. So let's talk about the Rhone, guys. Syrah came to the Rhone with the Egyptians before the Romans ever showed up, about 1,000 years before they showed up. And they would go up the Rhone in flat bottom boats and sail, row up the Rhone and sail back down. And that's why Syrah is the oldest plantation in Europe of consistent fruit. If you taste wines from the Northern Rhone, the big Syrahs, a lot of them can be meaty and can be smoky and are a little bit sulfuric, and they need some time. California, what do we have? This awesome set of weather, and that's why, I think one of the reasons Melissa and I wanted to move back here is because the grapes in this region rival anywhere on earth. And so that's the center of the 2 wines you're getting, and it's always the base note, the backbone of a Rhone blend. Grenache is where you start, and it's made in so many different styles, like a rainbow, all the way from a very sweet red one from the on the Spanish border, all the way to the really light Grenaches that they have in rosé form. And about 80% of the Grenache in the Rhone Valley is made into rosé, and they drink it like water, like we do in Crystal Basin. But so those are components that fit together. And then Mourvedre is this mysterious grape that it gets to be different everywhere it's grown, and I think it's found a super expression within California. When they all fit together, when they play together, it's like the full band playing, and all of our blends kind of use that same approach. The individual components are lovely. When they sing together, When they're knit together, then you have these Ascendance wines, and that's what we're searching for tonight.
Cool. So, Mike, we had someone out there who said their bottles came without any labels. They think they're all ports.
Is that you?
No, I don't know who. I don't know who it was. Someone that's watching on Zoom. The 868 number. Unfortunately, they can. You guys, if you don't like your name, or if you want to change your name on your Zoom profile, you can just click on it, and you can actually put your name on there, so we know we know who you are.
Yes.
But, there's some phone numbers out there that don't have names.
Chris flew into the dirt. So
anyways,
yeah, you. So whoever got the ports, we we don't mean this, but the joke's gone on you tonight. Unfortunately, it's actually on us.
okay.
We used a prototype to weigh the boxes, and then we shipped one out. And look at KZ's face. Look at KZ's face right now. All right.
That's Greg. Greg in orange. Oh, and he said it's port. So he said he got port. So Greg in orange actually got port.
So here's full disclosure. He and I are talking about writing a book together. There's a chapter.
That's definitely a chapter.
Oh no.
So,
no. Well,
but see, he's a man who knows
yeah.
his wine. He knows it's not Grenache. He knows it's port.
Yeah, this doesn't taste like Grenache at all. No. So Greg, my apologies. I will make it up to you, brother. You're going to get to play in a couple more of these. Greg was actually a guy from South Lake Tahoe. He is a writer, and I met him at the Orange County Wine Society. And so I, naturally, relatively, really embarrassed that we goofed that, but that's what the deal is. I'll own it. Sorry, Greg. All right, so now everybody's tasted all these three wines. And you can see why we're excited about 2018 vintage. It's the level of these wines, the quality level is post-drought, and it's rocking. So let's make a third, and a third blend. Now, here's how this works. I'm not going to rat you out, but one of them has to be 34%. All right, don't try to cheat and make them all 33%. It's not going to work for me.
One has to be.
At least one of them has to be 34%.
All right. So that's your blend, right? Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. So we're doing the equal.
Yeah, the equal parts, a third, but they can't be equal, Russ, unless you can get down to about.
Where's my equal at? Now
36 digits on the other
that's
side
true.
of the three.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like pi. You cannot blend for pi. Who's an engineer out there who understands what pi is? It's different than cornbread.
And you're good with the
Yeah, so everybody's putting their blend together, hopefully. We in the background have got Eric, who's always got the sharp hand around here. And so let me tell you a little story about Eric. He's an incredibly talented process guy, but he doesn't drink. And so, this is just a thing to note. He's got a great taster, and he's a really good and active participant to our tasting and blending team, but he's not a drinker. And so it's all by flavor and not by effect for Eric. And that makes him a little bit unusual for most of us, I would say. Yeah. And kudos, he won't have to go to Betty Ford like the rest of us after this.
That's for sure. All right, that's better. That's our equal parts. I put mine as Mourvèdre, the Mourvèdre at 34%, but you guys can do what you want. Okay, so Tracy, Mike, let's stop for a second. Tracy would like a little bit more information. She says she's confused. So Tracy, do you want to raise your hand and ask a question on audio? Would that help? So let's see. I'm not sure what her question is.
Let me share one other thing that Eric wanted me to point out, because it's important. When you're making these blends, don't pour them on top of each other. It's really hard to get your blends right that way. Pour the amount in the graduated cylinder. Let me see. Pour some Grenache in here. then pour it in your glass. Pour in some more Syrah in here, pour it in the glass. Pour some Movet in there, pour it in the glass. Swirl the glass around and share it with your sweetie. Much easier way, because if you get the pour wrong, then you can never get it right again. So do it in chunks. And that's the pro tip. You usually have to click on the corner to get the pro tip, but not here.
All right.
So
So
this
Tracy,
is
Mike, I'm gonna put Tracy on right now so she can ask a
Cool.
question. All right.
Cool.
All right, Tracy. You should be. Are you still muted? Try. There you go.
There she is. Tracy.
Where are you?
Tracy.
Can I see this? Can you see me?
No, we can't see you. You can talk though. Yeah.
Okay, so we do 33% of the Grenache, 34, and then 33 and make a blend.
Bingo.
Got
And
it.
it's better if you do that, at one chunk at a time instead of trying to pour a whole cylinder full.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Gotcha. Good.
Sure about the blending part.
Yep. And then what you do is you swirl it around in the glass and share it with your partners. Given that you're all COVID buddies.
Not 34 that. 34 of them, Aved?
Yeah,
No.
well, you can, no one can ever make it 33, 33, and 33.
That's
so
right.
You
We're
get to
winging it.
cheat. Yeah, you get to
We're
cheat,
winging
Tracy.
You're missing a percentage.
So this is always where we start with the
Gotcha.
blends. And so the putting equal parts together really sees, okay, that you pull the pieces out of them. And what you're trying to create is a more pleasing wine. And I use the analogy of the orchestra. I think the other one that you could look at is that when you have a meal, you want more than one set of flavors. And an individual wine typically, has the flavor of that wine. If you can enhance it by stacking flavors, you'd always do it. And that's one of the cool things about blending. What does everybody think of this one?
Good. Thumbs up.
Very light. It's light. Light.
You guys are welcome to comment too. If you're out there on Facebook and you have questions or comments, throw them out there. And if you have questions, you can always put them in the comment or just raise your hand. It's always a good thing.
You're awesome. You may
Feel like
talk.
we're in school.
Oh.
All right,
I get
Tracy.
a nice little white pepper on it with some strawberry and some little bit of tartness.
Where did you think that? Which wine do you think that tartness comes from, Michael?
Probably the Syrah.
Mm-hmm.
There goes Syrahs are generally tart to jammy, but I know the Mourvèdre is like a white pepper blueberry, and your Grenache is strawberry raspberry.
I wanted to ask a question about something Amber had said. You said that the wines already were lighter, or are you talking about the presentation?
I don't think she answered.
Nope, she's still thinking about it.
Yeah, Amber. There you go. I think
There she
Amber.
is.
Now you can
off
talk.
mute.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
off mute.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guy.
I think it was lighter in color as we were moving through the process. It started out really light. As soon as we added the Syrah, it got deeper in color. Definitely not lighter in session. This is still fun for us.
Good. Trying to hone in on what the comment was here. I need to know.
Lighter in color, but great.
Awesome. When you see the effect of one wine on another, even in this regular parts, it changes the nature of it. And so the next one we're going to do is less Grenache. And so we might go up Amber's scale towards a little bit darker color on that as we use less of what I'm going to argue is a lighter wine. So you make your blends or your percentages of this, share with your buddies. Don't stack your pour. Look at what Eric's doing back here. You do chunks at a time. That way you don't have to worry about running out of juice. God help you.
That would be terrible.
So what else is going on in the Rhone? Well, the Romans were there afterwards. And the Romans planted a lot of grapes. And then they imported grapes from Spain at some point in time in like the 1400s. And they brought over Mourvèdre, which is a Spanish grape called Monastrell or
Mataro,
Mataro.
my favorite.
And
word.
they also brought over Garnacha. You got to roll your R's. Garnacha.
Garnacha.
And then that came over from above the Pyrenees and came over to France. And maybe Grenache is the second or third most widely planted red grape in the world right now. And it's made in so many styles like I was talking about. As you lessen Grenache, we may find a greater intensity going on within the Victorie blend. And that's the experimentation we're doing here to see where that sweet spot is.
My last.
Does it matter if you're cleansing your palate with your brandy?
That strictly will affect your nose hair count.
That's pretty funny. So someone asked, is the Grenache where the tart is coming from, Mike?
In this particular year, I believe it's coming from the Mourvèdre.
Okay.
And what we found in the 18-year, that was Mourvèdre and I'd say Pinot were the ones that show the most variation between years. And so it was interesting what happened with that Mourvèdre. There's one particular vineyard we use that has a stone fruit characteristic, and that I think that tartness is what people are picking up with that. So this is on the bigger side with less Grenache, and compared to 4, it's going to give you a different set of flavors.
Huh.
I like the nose in that one a little better, to be honest.
That's what I noticed.
And then the other thing that we like to do is not, knock all these off at once so you can go back and have the debate, because the wines will open up over time. Your palate will change over time. And usually the 40th or 50th wine you taste is always the best one.
Yeah.
Michael Houston, we proved that in the 90s way back there.
What did I do in the 90s? What did I
You
do?
don't, you weren't, if you were there,
remember.
you remember it. Yeah, so that's it. No, we proved out that you could do blends until you were blind almost.
Oh yeah, Scaramouche.
Just a little heads up to everyone that's on the Zoom and chatting. If you guys can change your down there where your chat message is, it says to all panelists. Change that to all panelists and attendees, and then that way everybody can see what your comments are and not just the people that are on screen.
Oh, great.
We're getting some great comments about how this one has a great smell. The 2040 is excellent. It's great. So we have some Mourvèdre and Syrah fans out there, Mike.
Yeah, I saw a nice comment from Rob Brawley, who's a home winemaker that we've done some stuff with, and he's been big fan of ours for a long time. And we all have, every one of us around the table has a good Rob Brawley story to tell. But, that's for a whole different podcast.
Definitely.
So you see the next one we're going to do, guys, is, and you want to flash that up. We're going to do a less Syrah blend. So we're going to underscore why I think 5 was a little bit better than 4 personally. Because we're going to do one that's heavier on Grenache and Mourvèdre and lighter on Syrah. And you can really see what these small percentages effect on the wines are. And that, again, that's the whole thing we're trying to, help you guys see through our eyes tonight. In our cave even. Look at our cave. It's cool. Nice cave.
That's the love cave, Mike.
Well, I think there's some people out there who would vote to be on the love boat.
I think they'd like to be on the love cave as well. So we had a question about will they also use the 16 Victorie bottle, or is that just icing on the cake?
Oh no, that's just if you get really good, you can continue. Or some people are doing this with a group of 4 in a home, and so that would be the one to kind of, after they've had their spirited debate around the blending process, then they can crack that and see what they ought to be shooting at. And then there's about 6 out of the 40 people, Russ, who already drank it.
They're already done.
They already flagged that.
That was the first bottle gone.
That's why I said don't pregame too much on this stuff.
Yeah, they're tailgaters.
Well, and so here's the other honest thing before we try 6. We do this stuff in the morning, guys, because you got to come in after an egg and some coffee. We always start, but with some bubbly, because it'll clear your palate out. Then we'll go on to some red wines. But after 4 or 5 iterations, I mean, one series like this, you know, you're really not, it's not that you're drunk, but your palate's shot. And you can see what challenge to be a wine judge would be, to go through one of these on a, you know, on an 8-hour kind of scale. Your Petit Syrah lever would be, you know, switched off. So, yeah, okay, so this is heavy on,
This is the Les Syrah.
Les Syrah, and heavier
This is
on
Les
the,
Syrah. Yeah.
heavier on the Grenache.
And Mourvèdre.
Yep.
Well, I feel
Yep.
better. We're not the only ones drinking wine at 7 in the morning.
You
know,
people from Cameron Park are sick.
yeah,
You too, Russ.
I know. Well, it's at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's beautiful here. And, you know,
Yeah,
if
I
you're going to
think
go on a walk, it doesn't hurt to.
there's some other Cameron Parkers on there. I know they get up early.
Yeah.
Cleanse our palate
That's
with
right.
champagne first.
Can't
Or a
drink
blood-
all day unless you start in the morning.
That's right. Exactly. That's right, Michael. Michael said you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
So how about this one? You know, to me, guys, what do you think? I'm gonna let KZ describe this one.
I'm getting a little bit lighter body, not quite as much of the tannin on the back of the palate, and a very velvety finish on this one. A nice nose. I get some of that stone fruit from the Grenache and the Mourvèdre.
And then do you find you like Syrah on there?
Typically, I like more Syrah, but I think this is a really nice finish.
Yeah, this has
Yeah.
less.
Yeah,
And maybe
Mike, this is my favorite so far too. But it's also because I'm a big fan of Grenache and Mourvèdre.
Yeah.
And so I agree with KZ. It's the mouthfeel on this one's amazing.
I
You
love
feel the velvetyness from the Grenache, the Mourvèdre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just kind of disperses on the tongue.
Christine had something. You were going to say something.
I love this one.
That was great because we could hear it in echo. She loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it.
That's how she talks.
He calls everybody doll. That's actually how that works.
Is she
So, from the South? No,
yeah, she's
no,
from the
no.
South, no.
You know, she has kind of just a little touch of Southern accent when she's going like Melissa does. And
Gotcha.
I don't know what that's from. They both
So we
went
had
to
someone,
Park.
as you're talking, Mike, someone wants to see the slide again. So I'm going to put that up again
Pop
as
it
you're
up, pop it
as you're
up.
describing this one to people. Yeah.
So you've got that one as a less Syrah, and in this case, bigger fruit element. And then the Mourvèdre is constant between these two. And so one of the challenges out there is, you know, when do you start blending, which I explained, in the morning? When do you stop blending? When you can't taste anything. And so there's you have to do this in an iterative way. You can't really just sit down and just say, we're going to put the blends together. It doesn't work at all, because you just can't taste stuff. And so Eric is not just in charge of putting together blends when we're doing it here, but actually keeping the barrels all separate and sane and topped up and the right right temperature and everything. So the logistics around here are stuff that, you know, I think you see a little bit of it when you come in the barrel room, but you don't really see the kind of blood, sweat, and tears that go on to making that logistics piece happen. So, are you guys ready? Interactive. Let's give Eric a hand. He's the winemaking dude.
Right.
Woo!
Hats off.
Good job, doll.
There's the doll.
There's a question from John Christofferson. Can you read that one, Russ, please?
John Christofferson. Let's see. Yes, Mike. When you're blending, how often are you changing the combinations by increments less than 5%?
We think that that's too fine an increment to be able to blend out, and it's doing it at that level or that fine a cut exceeds my ability to taste the difference. And I'm a wine judge, which isn't saying anything more than I can taste stuff, and they didn't throw me out of the competition, but what we look at is when you get to a point and it isn't just right, then you change that 5% thing. So you never really do a 5%. You do in a broader brush. One of the things that we do to kind of, check our math is when we find a blend we like, Eric will put one away in a bottle, and we'll come back to it a couple weeks later, because you got to figure that you aren't crazy. You maybe you had a garlicky burrito the night before, maybe you had this or that, maybe you had just a little bit of a cold, you brush your teeth, or you had coffee. Your taster doesn't always work the same way every day. And that's where you can also find you love something, and then 3 months, 6 months later, it isn't really your thing. And that's just because your buds change. And I think they do as you age as well. Okay, so number 7 here, this is a heavy Syrah blend. And so what we're gonna do is, basically go towards, put that one up, Russ, glass number 7, please. So this is a big dog in the context of Syrah. And what we're trying to do with this is say, if you really want to make this a bigger, heavier Chateauneuf de Pape-ish kind of blend, you might use this particular combo with less Mourvèdre. There's 2 wines in the Rhone Valley that use this combo of grapes. One of them is called Côte de Rhône. It's a little bit lighter wine, and I think you're going to find that more on the heavy Grenache side. The wines that are Chateauneuf de Pape that are more expensive and meant for aging in the Rhone are the Syrah-based wines, which are largely the Chateauneuf de Pape stuff. Maddie, how do we join?
All right. I hope that was enough time up there for the slide, guys. It's basically 2020-60. 2020-60.
Have Todd texture.
All right. Hey, Mike. So trivia. How many approved varietals are there in the Rhone, the Côte de Rhône?
So the way to ask that question is, because I'm a geek, is how many varieties are allowed within Chateauneuf de Pape, and it's 13.
Right.
In the Rhone itself, there's a narrow, well, there's white wines that aren't allowed in Chateauneuf de Pape. There's Rolle and some other weird stuff out there, but Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvèdre are the workhorses. There's Picpoul Blanc and Counoise and Viognier and Rousson and Marsanne.
That's kind of a fun word to say, Picpoul.
Picpoul Blanc. Yeah, you got it. I want to see House say it after a day in the barrel room.
Yeah, Mike, can you say that? Picpoul Blanc.
Picpoul Blanc.
Yeah. See, he speaks French fluently.
Oh,
I didn't even know that.
Oui, oui.
And so somewhere in Folsom, there's a whole driveway full of people doing this with us who are going on the cruise in the Danube next year. So hats off to Dawn. We were supposed to have gone on a Rhone cruise this year, guys. And so we're trying not to be mopey because we can still do one next year. Actually, the Rhone cruise is going to be 2022 now. And Melissa and I, we're going back to Europe. This is what the deal is. And,
nice.
When it's time.
Very cool. So what do you guys think of this one? This one is it's way different than the last blend.
I think it's kind of one way with the Syrah. I don't taste the other ones like 2 and 3.
Is it overpowering?
Yeah, your Syrah is very
overpowering.
powerful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But
a
back
powerful
on
one.
2 and 3, we love 3, but I think Bev and I liked the number 2. That had a little bit more Syrah in it. It had a little bit more richness into the
Yeah, it
flavor.
felt really rich and kind of like a
Yeah,
bear
a little bit more
hug.
complex, a bear hug.
So you mean the second blend then, which would be
Correct.
glass
Second
number
blend.
5. Got it. Okay. And I think we might continue to figure out how we do that stuff. Hold on, Zog, say. Zog, say number
Zogs?
6. Nod, say
Zogs,
number
you
6.
can
Yeah.
yeah.
Click that button.
Click to unmute. There you go.
We were trying to let Mike and Bev know we love them so much, but we weren't sure when he was saying the second and third. We were like 1, 2, 3. We had to shoo the first 3 that we tried, but singly, and get with the second blend, third blend, fourth blend.
It was number 2. It was the 20%. I can't.
The 20%
And then 40/40.
Yeah.
Right. 20, 40, 40.
40/40.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
yeah, I like that one too. But I actually like the 40/40/20.
Which one was
Yeah,
that?
that was number 3. That was a third blend. Yeah.
Grenache Mourvedre?
Grenache, 40 Mourvedre,
Mhm.
Yeah.
20
I like
Syrah.
that too, but I wouldn't mind showing that on a hot summer day.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that, Mike.
So one of the cool ways that we're gonna follow this conversation, and none of this is scripted, guys. It's the coolest thing. The next blend we're gonna have is gonna be 60% Grenache, and so it's kind of funny how we said, okay, the Syrah is a little bit too much, and then let's pull out and see if we can go back to less Mourvedre and have a big base and Grenache in that and see what it does. And so, you know, this kind of scripting that I did on the blending was really the path we followed when we put these blends together originally. And so, you know, this is the eye on the wall kind of thing we wanted to give you guys for our blending process.
Hey, Mike, I don't know what we did, but we're out of wine. So we did some kind of mixture one.
Just,
Wow.
yeah.
I want you to know that I wasn't mixing. He was. Mix a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you're going to have to have us resupply you this evening, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Don't tell me you don't have these 3 varietals in your stash, Parrish. I'm not believing it.
Yeah. Just go find some Grenache, Mourvedre, and Syrah, pop them all open.
I just happen to be in love with Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah.
And he
That
does not
one-
lie, does he?
Yeah. That one's, do you? I think it's too tart.
Okay.
You must have been drinking. We still have a half a bottle of each.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did the math, and there was enough to do 1 glass of all these and have roughly a third of each bottle left. I figured if there are couples, you just blend one and split that glass since you're just doing the tasting, and then you could go back to the Victory
Oh,
afterwards.
we were doing one each, so maybe that's what it was.
That's why. Yeah, that's why.
Well, you
That was
guys
the,
can have your own personal victory here in a little bit.
Mhm. They were. That's funny. Did everyone get that percentage for the heavy Grenache? It's 60, 20, 20.
So the next one we're gonna do is gonna be remaking nothing.
Yes.
Grenache. Oh no.
Mike, we can hear you.
Yeah. Well, so yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do a surprise blend here from the old days.
After this 60, 20, 20.
Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna be number 9.
Number
Number
9.
nine.
So that means you're going to have to, if you don't have enough glasses, you're going to have to drink something out of one of these.
And if you have equal amounts of your original base wines left, you can go pour those together, and that's your third, a third, and a third. You can carry it forward. Or you can drink them all at once and do like 3 burpees. You get the same effect.
So I'm interested. I'm interested if you were like, I know the Zogs were on here last 2 weeks ago. Mike does this every 2 weeks, by the way, if you're just joining us or if you've been watching us and you're kind of having fun, because this is really a good time. But I'm curious to the people that were on the last tasting with the Bordeaux's, how do you like this? Like, I personally, I'll just be honest, I like this more than the Bordeaux. I'm more of a Rhone fan. So this one's speaking to me more than the Bordeaux blend did.
Definitely.
But,
This last one really has a great mouthfeel.
Let me be the judge of that.
And Leanne, you are.
So I want to know, Christine Nenwich. I want to hang out with you guys. Yeah. If you're out of wine, we need to meet up at Crystal Basin next week. We're all good. I actually really last week and this week. I'm kind of I think that all of the wines go with so many different things. And actually, Michael House and Beverly House, you guys taught us that a long time ago, like to enjoy the different wines with the different foods, and you can't really have a because you know, Mike, you are my barrel guy forever. So you know, maybe you talk a big game. I don't know, but
It's all lies.
You talk the big game.
It's all lies. I'm here to tell you, just drunk in the back
Let's
talking.
do it. Let's do it. I'll bring some.
Wait. Yeah. You noticed too?
Yeah. So see, Mike, you're losing control, man. Everyone's out of control now.
Well,
It's
this is a
awesome by this time.
Typical day at the winery is all this is about.
Well, for my 2 cents, this is my
Love
favorite
his
so
odds.
far.
Okay.
This is
You
definitely
like
my
the big
favorite.
Grenache one.
Well, because I'm a big Grenache, I'm a big Grenache fan, so this definitely is my favorite so far.
All right, so here's a great component of time. Right now, we can tell you about this amazing deal where Russ wants to sell you some futures for us.
I do.
Yeah, I
do,
sent you
huh?
that. I sent you that thing, and you can buy.
I'm
futures.
just messing with you.
And the you get your $75 back, guys. This is how you leverage your cash. Victory futures, 360. Guess what? 75 off. 285 case futures.
And I'll put this back up again because people are, you can see it. You can write this number down. Text now, 916-599-4758. How's that?
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
And you'll get 2 for the price of 1.
Well, wait, there's more.
But wait,
You get toilet paper with
there is
every-
more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hold up the graduated cylinder.
It comes with toilet paper.
If you are brave,
a wrap.
if you're brave enough to bring back your cylinder, mofo, you
Hey,
can
Mike,
get 50%
Karen-
off the juice, you know.
Karen asked what the percentages of the Victory are. I know you're going to tell that in a minute, right? You're going to reveal which one of these, or maybe one of these isn't even it. What the percentage of the actual Victory that everyone got tonight?
You know, we have that data. Yeah, it's but until the phone's ringing and we're getting a lot of Jerry Lewis telethon dollars, we're not going to tell you people.
Well, they're not going to ring. That was a text. So that folks, if you're watching, it was a text. He wants you to text. So someone's phone's going to vibrate in a minute.
Number
That's what
again,
it-
Russ?
Yeah, it better jiggle like crazy, man. It better look like Shakira at the Super Bowl, okay?
Hey, Mike, can I point something out real quick? And I'm not sure if this is directed at me or not, because I think if it is, I think it's awesome. I just have to say, but Amber and Mark Hans and the hashtag no cat pee, that's epic. And I don't know if it's because of one of the shows I was on and I was hosting.
No, that was last time.
All right. You know what, you guys? I owe you guys a bottle of wine. Mike, you're gonna have to
We love that.
give them a bottle of wine on my behalf, and I'll buy it for them. But that is epic
Yeah.
that you have the hashtag no cat pee.
Well, hold on. Is it the Sauvignon Blanc, Russ?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Give them the Sauvignon Blanc. Yes, a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc for show, because no cat pee, man. That is the
It
deal.
was Mike Bruhall comment.
What is that?
Well, yeah, his comment, yeah, because he was saying that's
was
one of
me.
the hallmarks of a good Sauv Blanc. But
Yep.
I
That's
love
an
that.
Australian for
Amber
you.
Mark, that is so awesome. I love that.
I think you need to repeat the number again, Russ.
The number. All right. 916-599-4758. I'll put it back up on the screen here in a second. But 916-599-4758.
And there's a coupon code in your kit to buy online. So we'll take care of you. Trust me.
Yeah, it's in the if you're on the Zoom webinar, it's in the chat now, and I'll get it on Facebook as well.
Well, and the cool thing is we've never offered futures on the Ascendance ones. It took some sort of pandemic thing to get us there, and so we're here. And phase 2 is all you people buy futures. That's how phase 2 works. Thank you. It's a really kind of cool setup.
So are you going to tell everyone what the Victory blend is?
Eric's going to have to roll it out for us.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Give him a microphone. You're like your drum
Do
roll.
you want a drum roll? Drum roll.
Okay,
Your
Eric,
silence,
Eric,
man.
We are going with the 20 Grenache, 40 Mourvèdre, 40 Syrah.
Really?
The number 5 glass.
Oh, nice. I liked that
The
So
big. Yeah.
So can you respond to Judy? You got here late on number 5 blend.
Good job. That was the one we picked.
Yep.
So we've got some people raising their hands. Mike, I think your mic, you might have a issue with your mic.
turn
But,
that off. Yeah.
all right, so we're gonna get some questions coming in. Diane, can you hear me? There you go. You should be able to talk, Diane.
What was the blend again? We missed it. We missed the blend.
20, 40, 40.
Yeah, it was the number 5 glass.
20% Grenache, 40 Mervet, 40
Yeah. So that was the
Syrah.
the second blend glass.
All right.
So then
Thanks,
it was
Diane,
li-
for the
it-
question.
Yeah, it was light on Grenache and it was heavier on the Mourvèdre and the
All right.
Syrah.
Terry has a question as well. Let's see. Terry, can you hear me? Let's see. I know you can hear me. Let's see if we can get you unmuted.
Don Johnson, it was the 5th glass in the lineup.
Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yep, we can.
So that was the one we picked too. We liked that one. That was our pick. Woo!
Hey, Mike, Beverly, and Melissa, and Russ.
Yep.
What's going on with that, Amber?
I'm gonna
This
Mike,
is
I'm
the
gonna
method to our madness. We're keeping track of everything you're doing and
Wow.
putting our likes. It's awesome. We have the other
Wow.
one from last time. This is fun. We love it.
Yeah, that's very visual. I really like it.
that is.
Cool.
So I'm putting the winning the victory up the graphic up on the screen now. This is the 20, 40, 40.
Well, and the coolest thing, guys. So look what happened tonight in a basically opened up forum where we're starting from
I did like this.
the component blend,
like both of these,
and
but
we're moving towards finding out which one that we like based on the heavy and light and the components. The place that a lot of people like, not everybody, but was the same place that we ended up as a winemaking team. And so, gee, do we need validation? Well, hell yeah. Melissa validates me a lot. This is helpful. But really what we're talking about is that what our process works. And it's cool to have participants in the process and see it at a broader set of palates and smellers. And to be able to come to a really kind of cool conclusion, that makes it probably more fun for us than you.
Yeah, and we had a question. The Buckeye Union School District. I think the whole district's on. They're watching on Zoom, but they had a question about the next. Well, actually, they asked you, Mike, could you please do this again? But you already have that covered, right?
We have a series of these coming up, guys. So every 2 weeks, we're going to be doing one of these on Thursdays. So the next one we're going to do is Campione. And that's
Super Tuscan.
Super Tuscan. And that's on the something or other of this month, whatever 2 weeks from today is.
It's on the 21st, of May.
Day. And then we're going to do Quixote. And here's something exciting, guys. The 4th of June, we're going to be doing the Quixote blending in this format, but we're going to do it from the Folsom Tasting Room. Because we've got a license down there. We're ready to rock. We got to wait until some of these phases and some of the goofy stuff that is plaguing our society right now and kind of challenging small business. When that kind of starts rolling out, the 6th of June, we're going to be doing that. So the reason you want to play on the Campi or the Quixote Day is not because of the components in the wine. This one had 3. Quixote's got 2, but you get a bottle of Quixote and a bottle of rosé along with the component blend. And then you get, not only do you get the same fertile BS that I can spout for hours and hours, but it's in a different environment. So it makes it worth the money.
Okay. And then finally, I gotta promote this one too, because it's just funny. On June 18th, so the 4th is going to be in Folsom, but on June 18th, we're going to be back here and we're going to be doing the Super Californian.
Expialidocious.
Super Californian. Yes.
And so here's some legal advice, Russ, that's free. If you keep Fragilistic out of the middle of that, you never see Disney's lawyers. And so that's been our strategy so far. It's worked.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
right now they're hungry.
Just so you guys know, Mike he's a visionary, and he just pushes the wine world forward. And he's, as far as I know, the first time I ever heard Super Californian was from Mike Owen right there.
House.
He came up with that. Yep, there's the house right there. So
we're going to turn it into a specific class of wines that can be judged.
The Super Californians.
Yeah.
Mike, you remember this bottle?
That is that's like the original bottle of our Ascendance wines. That's what started the
That's the
whole thing.
08. That was my blend with Peter.
Wow.
Nice.
82% Sangiovese and 18% Cab.
Classic.
Oh, that's the secret Tuscan. Huh?
Yeah, so that's next week, and maybe Mike can dip into his stash. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
House can dip into his stash and ship everybody some for comparison.
And
he walked away, but I'm pretty sure he thought that was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
That you're going to
So-
stash and ship everybody some.
No,
And Mike, these are always at 6 o'clock, right? Someone asked what time. They're always going to be at 6 o'clock on on Thursdays. That's
And,
that's
you know,
the Crystal Basin time.
Yeah, and we find this time is enough where everybody's kind of into the cocktail hour, and you can still have dinner afterwards. And if Christine and Paris want to drink dinner, it's fine. Right?
Okay, so Mike, speaking of dinner, we had a question. What food recommendations do you recommend with this Victorie?
So I love lamb, and part of that's that we had a little gentleman's ranch when I was a kid, and I ate a lot of lamb, and that's a very much a Rhone flavor. What else is from there? Pesto, anything with some basil seems to work with that. And then the other thing is there's some vegetarian stuff down there that it's not hard to eat because it's just what's there. So as funny as it sounds, ratatouille with the amount of olive oil and the tomatoes and the ratatouille done well French style is phenomenal with these Rhone style wines.
Okay, we have some more questions. People are raising their hands, so we're gonna get them off
I
mute.
have one
so they can-
question. Are you going to do another blend?
We're gonna do one more blend. We're gonna do the remember who. Okay, so whether you're out there or not, whether we can see you or not, raise your hand if you remember the bistro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, Stacy had her hand up, but she has a question. She's unmuted.
Okay.
Hi, Mike. Love the bistro. Miss it a lot. To answer your question, but I was wondering. This is a crazy idea. What do you think of making 2 rounds? One that's a Côte de Rhone and one that's a Chateauneuf du Bois.
Oh, there you go. Another brand.
So this is right along the line. You are like the Segway Chica from Central California, Stacey. You're it. So what we were gonna do is propose making a blend the same way we did the old Nothing. Anyone remember Nothing from the bistro? So that was 50% Syrah and 50% Mourvèdre. And so let's make that as kind of a final blend to kind of kick off with. And I really like Stacy's idea about having that second Rhone blend. And it's what wine goes good with paella? You know, Rod's asking about paella. I would say Grenache goes well with paella because it's got seafood and stuff in it, right? And it's a lighter tomato thing. That's where I would go because it's a Spanish wine.
Yeah. Your Quixote would go good with paella.
Yeah, and that's a Rioja style Spanish wine.
So Mike, what was this blend again? We don't have a slide for this super special.
We don't have
secret.
a slide. It's 50% Syrah and 50% Mourvèdre.
Okay. And someone commented that lemon ravioli might be good with this wine as well. And I want to also give a shout out to Judy Collinsworth. I haven't seen her or said hi to her in a long, long time. I see she's watching. So cheers, Judy.
Yeah, she's going to be our neighbor down in Folsom. That's really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
How about Stacy Briscoe? Is she on? Hi, Stacy.
So I apologize. Someone else had their hand up, but when Mike asked everyone to raise their hand, that kind of threw that shit out the window. So I need someone else who had a question to raise their hand. I said a bad word. I apologize. I don't know if you can do that on Facebook.
Pour me some.
No.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
enough. Nothing.
Mick
I got
Bruja
nothing.
has his hand raised on Facebook. Mick, go ahead and ask your question. But there was someone on Zoom. Someone on Zoom had their hand up. I want to make sure we get your question.
That doesn't suck either.
Really good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. So it's 50-50 what?
Syrah Mourvèdre.
Syrah.
Syrah Mourvèdre. Thank you.
50-50.
Hey, Mike,
Hola.
should we bring our little small bottles back since we're going to keep our beaker forever because we're going to do every one of these? Or should we recycle our small little bottles? What's up?
I'd say, the bottles don't help us to come back here. So it's, I wish they did, but it's really hard to recycle glass. That all the bottles that get recycled are separated by color. They're transported down to Gallo Glass in Modesto, and then they smelt them down there. They remake them into glass, and your recovery rate's only about 70%. So
So basically, we just keep our beaker for the next one, right? Which is what date?
That is the
21st, 2 weeks from tonight.
All right. So put us in. We're in.
21st.
I'm writing you down right
Yep.
now.
Heather and Lori,
Okay.
you guys are some of our best friends. We miss you guys. You live over the hill. We can't see you guys.
We miss you too.
Well, if this
Mike,
is we're in.
We're in.
So can I tell a Heather and Lori story?
Of course,
Yes.
always.
Okay. So we missed Passport this year. We all did. And one of those challenges is not seeing you guys roll in with the RVs with the party trailer and load up multiple stacks of bubbly into the back. So we're and that's always like, which Friday are they gonna come? We need to know. We're gonna plan for this.
Mike, but you missed the part of loading it up on a pallet.
With the forklift.
Into the toy hauler, yes, ma'am.
So I call Lori and Heather the bubbly ladies.
Tracy thinks she's gonna
And
say.
whenever you guys come in, I know I'm going to open a bottle of Triumphant. Just so thank you for that.
Well, now you might be opening a bottle of Victory because we have a complete new appreciation for that.
Did you enjoy that wine as something new?
Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
This was a great one, Mike.
When Melissa and I lived in southern France, we didn't know what we had. It was the 90s. We were in our 30s, and we said, well, we're going to go out and do as much exploring as we can and just check this stuff out. Little did we know. And we got to host, some amazing people. We had maybe 80 overnight guests in the 2 years we lived there. And one of those was Paul Bush from Madronia. And he came to stay like 3 days, and well, he was on the couch, and they went to San Tropez and ate mussels any number of times. So there's was really good cross pollination even then with working together with the El Dorado County wine folks.
So we have a question for Michael and Beverly House. They want to know what you just blended. That's like completely off the record. What are you doing, man?
So
they caught you.
What did I blend?
Yeah.
I went back to number 2.
The second blend, 20 Grenache, 40/40 Syrah Mourvèdre.
That's
Okay.
that's what we ended up with.
And that's the Victory blend. That is the real
that's the one that
Victory
gives us
blend.
a hug. We love that one.
Right.
All right. And Mike, you guys got to sign up the hunts. They want to be there. Amber and Mark are going to be there.
There's some thumbs.
All right. And make sure you put their bottle of Sauv Blanc in that shipment so they get their Sauv Blanc and no cat pee.
Cab Franc.
Cab Franc.
I got to get one of those shirts, you guys. I'm sure I'm about the same size as Mark. You look about a medium. I can wear that.
We'll make you one.
Cat pee on a gooseberry bush.
We'll get you your shirt, Russ. No problem.
Oh, you guys rock. Thank you so much. That's so cool.
All right.
So Leanne, you're going to have to up your game if you're going to be the veteran of these things.
Hey, I can do that. I got it. Whatever I gotta do. Pretty sure we can handle that. I don't know.
The gauntlet has been laid down.
It has. That's pretty
Yes.
awesome right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I'll
funny.
be there.
All right. Any more questions? I know there was someone out there. You guys are making me look bad. Oh, there we go. Okay. The hand's up again. Mike, the hand is up. So you'll recognize this voice.
That's just, no, I'm not living like that.
Come on. There we go. Go ahead. Hello.
Tom. Are you unmuted? Give
Yeah.
me hey, so it's Randy, Colleen, Angela, and Tom.
Woo!
All the blendings, and we really enjoy the number 5 blend.
That's where we ended up too, man. That's really cool how that seems to, after you try a bunch of things, and then that's what KZ is. It tries to describe to people about blending. Is it what's the wines together? None of them really suck. but what's the right thing? What transcends? What's the thing that makes an Ascendance wine? It was fun to find that, right? And number 5, woohoo!
Yeah, winner.
Yeah, number 5, because it's not always about the one that you might like, that you personally might like. It's what they do all together, and we're looking for the thing that really pops, and that really kind of stands out as an Ascendance wine.
Yeah.
And none of them sucked. None of them sucked.
We didn't really like the last one, but that's okay.
The
So
50-50?
that's a good point. The last
50-50.
one, when Melissa really liked that one, that one's more like one of our bistro wines. That one reminded me a lot of the Bada Bing. It had that kind of almost a sweetness to it, a really light fruity thing, very easy drinking. So that was more along the lines of a bistro, easy drinking. The last one, number 8.
Good job, Casey.
Yeah.
Well
Great
done.
job. We're having a blast. I sent pictures of our setup here.
Oh, that's if you guys put pictures, put them out on Crystal Basin. Put them on their Crystal Basin Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you hashtag your virtual tasting, and if you can, tag at Kilt&Cork. That's me, so people know that we're doing this as well. And then also, it's great that if you guys share these, we love seeing the pictures of everyone.
Do you have a
and
kilt?
so
Yes, I do wear a kilt most nights. I'm not wearing anything right now, just a t-shirt. So
Okay, hey, I wanted to say that
Too much information.
yeah,
So
go to my Facebook page or my website, kiltandcork.com, and you'll see a ton of pictures of me in my kilt because
Mark
Mike likes it when I wear my kilt up there.
Mark
Just
wants to know if
don't-
you're wearing a half shirt.
Yeah.
Mike really tested my sobriety with this little tiny graduated
The
cylinder.
full shirt, no half shirt tonight.
Don't sit on his chair, is all I'm trying to tell you. Okay.
So,
Go
hey,
Go
he
for it.
said he's never met a second bottle of wine he doesn't like.
So is that
he's a keeper.
is that the T-shirt?
That's a new
That's
t-shirt. Yeah,
t-shirt.
never been a second
That-
bottle of wine I don't like.
That is a new t-shirt. Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's back to Mike's point of when they get there early to do their blends. I totally appreciate that because you know what? After the second bottle, it's all good.
That's why we don't continue to until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. with
Right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Now, are we muted?
So Hans's and
think we are.
is it Nenwich? So Hans and Nenwich and Heather and Lori and Craig, we're all in for meeting up at yeah, we got to do it, right? Crystal Basin.
I'll have
All right.
Perry make a bundt cake.
Terry, you're unmuted. You have a question? Go ahead.
No, it's Rick.
Oh, okay.
With Terry. Mike House, what did you just blend? You look like
We're going back. Well, we have plenty of wine here still because we're sharing. So we went back and did 60% Grenache in 2020 on the Syrah and the Mourvèdre. Just to share it with the second one, which was, can you read that?
20 Grenache and 40-40.
Yes.
Which is
The one we
victory
like.
That's the one we chose, right? Number 5.
Bev, can we get a yoo-hoo from you? Woohoo, Bev.
Whoever has that
That
left
is
should make
awesome.
that right now. Yes.
So cool.
20-20-60.
One of the things I neglected to do early on was to thank Russ Reyes for being our producer and putting this on. Because
Oh, they were talking
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rick.
thank
You
you.
guys are welcome. Cheers. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And so
I like
Melissa,
that, Robert and John. I'm not sure which one did it, but I was all in.
and so Melissa slipped me a piece of paper to remind you guys that kit holders get $315 off a case of futures with your discount.
What?
Say that one more time.
You get $75 off, right?
$315 off a retail price. I mean, at retail
Oh,
price.
retail. Gotcha. All right.
I don't know what we're doing here because I've
That's
kind
right
of
in, Mike.
sometimes
Rick,
numbers
sorry, I
confuse
text somebody.
people. Yeah.
Yes.
If if
Number-
numbers confuse you. I'm a CPA. Numbers confuse me.
I put your slide back up, Mike. $75 off the $360
Yeah.
price. Yeah.
You have no
You
idea
need to
what
say
a great
360 off.
315 off.
Oh.
I like 315 off better.
Yeah.
We were ordering a pallet.
Put it down for 10 cases.
Yeah. No wonder we don't put that in writing, huh?
Yeah. That's why you don't make offers after 5 bottles of wine, Mike.
Yeah, well,
Hey, can you repeat Melissa's note real quick and we'll record it?
we had some guy call up after the last one, and he didn't buy a futures kit, and he was upset because we wouldn't give him the discount on a case of Triumphant futures. We're like, man, you got to play along. We love everybody, but this is one of those things where it's kind of a relationship sale, and if you piss us off, it's not a good relationship.
Mike Owen, did you get my text?
Right down though.
I sent it to somebody.
Phone's dead. Phone's dead.
Oh, phone's dead. See, and that was one of the things. I got to check
we'll
your phone, make sure it's charged.
We'll pick it up.
Okay.
We'll pick it up.
Colleen, you're off mute again. You can speak. I don't know if you're still out there.
So we're actually wondering, for us to have wine left, can we do our own blend and share?
Oh, absolutely. If you guys want to keep going, because the thing is, are you in the cafeteria at Buckeye School, or what are you guys doing?
No, I don't know I have a Zoom account for my work, but I log on with my Facebook account.
Well, I personally, I don't care. Okay.
No.
And Tom and Steve. I'm not giving the children wine.
That's a good point, Colleen.
What's the blend for all the drunk people at Buckeye School?
Well,
20% chocolate milk, 80% white milk.
Yeah.
Mike's going to be here talking with y'all.
As an elementary school teacher.
So Mike will stay here and talk with you guys as long as you're on here. So I know some people may have to go. We've been over an hour. Mike can entertain you all night, I'm sure, or until you run out of wine. But we'll be here a little bit longer. So if you're still on Facebook or Instagram, we'll be here till there's no questions.
I'd like to say something before we wrap this up. I miss all of you guys at the barrels. I miss being at the barrels. Last I heard, they didn't make a 7-foot wine thief.
You're going to say goodbye.
So can't pour barrels for you one day.
All right, Mike. We'll see you again at the barrels.
And I can echo that sentiment. We miss hospitality, guys. That's what we're good at. We miss you guys big time.
I know,
Yep, we love and miss you all for sure, no doubt.
A+. Oh, thank you,
Thanks,
Amber.
Amber and
That's very
Mark.
sweet.
That's so cool. Thank you, guys. I like that.
Yeah, and you guys get the collateral award.
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do. That's a great one. And nobody would know what that means unless they're into wine or specifically Sauvignon Blanc.
Exactly.
They're just thinking, wow, these people are really weird.
Yeah.
I'm freaking people out all day.
What is this?
Well, on the back it'd say yes cat pee, and it really fucks with people. Don't make a mess. You're on camera.
Amber, did that come out your nose?
The greatest nose.
Yeah.
That's pretty classic.
It's an earthy nose.
So the coolest thing is that people would take time out of their day and play with us, and I don't know who's on Facebook, but I think there might be some people watching on that.
Yeah, you still got people. Terry Hamilton Gerard still out there. Angela Honoroff was on here for a while. Mick Bruja.
Did Maddie ever get on?
Yeah, Madeline Owen. She's been on all night. She's been talking a lot. Yep.
On Facebook.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
Maddie.
Tammy Dance.
Hey.
Next generation.
Yep. Yeah. It's you had a lot of
Maddie,
interactive.
what's your blend? Well, vodka, triple sec.
I hear Maddie likes 2-ply.
White Claw.
White Claw.
Yeah. Actually, I got to give Maddie kudos. When we went to France in January, she discovered that she loved a very kind of obscure French white wine called Aligoté Boucher.
Ah.
It's a wine that doesn't really get imported to here.
We can hear you, Zog.
There's only a little bit grown in California or Oregon at all. And the cool thing is that it set her on exploration. So Maddie, you know, your mom and I are proud of you of the whole wine exploration thing. Keep going.
Yeah.
She loves two-ply.
Horrified. Oh, houses, we can hear you.
Good job, Leanne.
Yeah.
They're all undone.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been a lot of fun. And I know we'll be back again in 2 weeks.
Love all
Again,
you
Mike.
guys.
What is it again? It's
Going
going
to
to
be
be Campione.
Campione. So Campione is a super Tuscan. And so think of that as a Sangiovese plus whatever we think is groovy about an addition of Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot or both. And that's the great debate. And that's Melissa's favorite of the Ascendance wines.
So what, just so everyone's prepared for next week, because I'm going to have food next week for sure. What do you recommend to pair with that Campione next week?
It's not next week, isn't
Or
it?
2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Don't
So,
be teasing me, what?
Good catch, Christine. Good catch.
I was teasing you guys. Just teasing. That's all.
So there's a,
That one, I love the Campione.
that's going to be the right one. So I think that those wines beg for antipasti.
Mm.
And I don't mean just cheese and cracker kind of thing and some 3 pieces of salami. I mean a more formal version of antipasti.
And I'll be, you know, I'll send some stuff out on that so people can pick it.
All
What do you
right.
think, Casey?
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think we'll, I'll just put it, if you're watching tonight and you guys are on and you're on next week, 2 weeks. Sorry about that, Leanne. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'll give something special out for the best food pairing next 2 weeks.
We recommend In-N-Out
weeks.
Burger.
Yeah. No. That would be great for tonight. What was up with that? Tonight was great.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good.
We really appreciate everybody played. And it's great to connect when we're gone.
Yeah, just for a little bit longer.
Well, thank you.
How about a charcuterie pizza for next time?
That sounds good.
That's a great idea, Bev. What's
Yeah.
Mike baking now?
I don't
Mike,
know.
the mad scientist, is at it again.
Yeah,
What
you've been
am-
on fire tonight, honey.
Sorry.
What was the question? No, what was the question? I missed it.
No, they were asking what Mike House is blending, because he's blending again on camera some concoction.
It was
I think it's whatever
tequila
is
the other
left in
night.
each bottle.
Yeah, we can't really see all the bottles, so that could be. Oh, look at he's
I
out of
think
that.
he's
Whatever
trying
that
to
is.
take advantage of Bev, but
Oh,
that's
this was definitely. It's like 80.
80,
So let's talk about some people who never got
Scaramouche.
Hey, Bev,
Never
taste
got
that,
face
Bev.
So there's Tom Miller from Sonora. We got
Hey, guys.
Stacy from Napa.
nice.
Who else is out there? There's some people from Visalia. I think that's Chisione.
Stacy.
God,
Yeah.
Raleigh.
And there's
Yeah.
that poor guy from Orange County we ship pork to.
Oh yeah, Karen from Folsom. She's never been here. Oh,
Really? Yeah. And the entire Buckeye School District.
Yeah. Those teachers rock. They support this. That's for sure.
You should see the kids. Damn.
what about Pat Carden?
Yeah.
wait a minute, I'm gonna lose my job.
All right, Dawn. Dawn's signing off. She's saying goodbye. Thanks, Dawn. Thank you,
You
guys.
find it weird
Galvin,
about drinking out of
thank you,
flat.
Pat.
Thanks,
Galvin,
Pat.
Thank you, Karen. Beautiful
Love you guys.
stuff.
Karen,
guys.
cheers, you guys. Yeah. All right.
Cheers. Where's
All right.
Well, cheers.
We're gonna
So
drop.
2
Otherwise,
weeks.
we'll keep drinking.
Yeah, I know everyone's gonna keep drinking anyway. So 2 weeks from now, we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
We'll be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Come and see us.
You guys be safe.
Bye, guys.
Good
Have you a long
wine.
time.
Good night.
Good night.